In this video, I'd like to talk about order of operations. What does that mean? Well, if I give you a long and complicated mathematical equation with multiple different operations, such as dividing, multiplying, adding, subtracting, etc., how do you know what to do first? Because depending on the order of operations, you're going to get different results. For example, if I give you a problem like 3 times 2 plus 5. If you don't know how to do the proper order of operations for this very simple equations, you can get multiple different answers. For example, the answer to this could be 2 plus 5 times 3, which would be 10 times 3, or 30. The answer to this could be 3 times 2 plus 5, which would be 6 plus 5, or 11. Or maybe the answer to this could be 2 plus 5 times 3, which is 7 times 3, and that's 21. So as you can see, we're left with 1, 2, 3 different answers. Which one is the correct answer? Well, BEDMAS is going to help us understand how to get the correct answer every single time. What is BEDMAS? Well, BEDMAS is a simple acronym meaning brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction in this order. So if you can simply memorize BEDMAS, BEDMAS, you know the proper order of operations to do 100% of the time for any mathematical equation. Again, that means first you solve the brackets, then the exponents, then any sort of division, any multiplication, any addition, and finally any subtraction. So we had 3 times 2 plus 5. And let's just write our acronym again. BEDMAS. So if we follow this acronym, let's start with B. Brackets. Do we have any brackets? No. E. Exponents. There are no exponents. D. Division. No division. M. Multiplication. Hey, there is a multiplication sign, right? So we have to deal with this multiplication before anything else. So we're going to do 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6, and we're going to add 5. Why? Because after multiplication is addition. 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. So the answer is not 30, it's not 21, it is in fact 11. And of course, if you punch this equation into your calculator, you will get the same answer. So now let's work through some of these example problems. We have 2 times 2 plus 1. So again, multiply first. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Let's use a different color here. Perfect. Here we have 3 times 3 plus 1 minus 2. So again, multiplication first. 3 times 3 is 9. Addition plus 1. Subtraction minus 2. And that gives us 9 plus 1, which is 10, minus 2, which is 8. Now, for this guy here, it's a little more complicated, but let's work through it. So first, we have brackets. So we're going to deal with those first. And what's inside the bracket? It is 3 times 2. The answer to that is 6. And we're going to write the rest of the equation as is. Now, you might think to yourself, because BEDMAS, addition comes before subtraction, that you would do 6 plus 2 and then subtract that from 3. That is not the case. Why? Because this minus sign is applied to the negative 6. In other words, this minus sign and this negative 6 is essentially a multiplication. What this means is negative 1 multiplied by 6. That's what that means. So we're going to deal with that multiplication first, right? Which is going to give us -6 plus 2, which is -4, and we're going to add 3 onto that. So -4 plus 3, which is -1. Our answer is -1. Perfect. Next. So first we have an exponent here, 8 squared. In other words, 8 times 8, which is 64. That's done. Then we have brackets, so 3 times 2, which is 6. That's done. And we have a -5. So let's put it all together. 64 plus 6 minus 5. Perfect. Which is 64 plus 6 is 70, minus 5 is equal to 65. Done. Now, this one's a little more interesting because we have brackets and an exponent. So, according to BEDMAS, we're going to deal with the B, the brackets, first. So, 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, but we still have a bracket, and that is squared. Plus 2 minus 3. So, after B is the E, which stands for exponents, and now we have to do this exponent operation next. So, 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Plus 2 minus 3, which is equal to 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 3 is 3. Done. So here we have 2 brackets and a term with an exponent. So let's deal with the brackets first. 15 times 2 is 30. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus, and now we deal with the exponent. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So 30 minus 14 is 16, plus 4 is 20. A bracket which has an exponent on the outside and on the inside, and another bracket with an exponent on the outside. So a little more interesting. So we can choose to deal with either bracket first. Let's start with the 3 squared squared. So, of course, we're going to deal with the inside of the bracket first because BEDMAS, the first letter is B. 3 to the power of 2 is 3 times 3, which is 9. So our new bracket is going to be 9 all to the power of 2. And what does this mean? This means 9 times 9, which is 81. So that bracket is totally done. Next bracket, we have 5 minus 3 all to the power of 2. So again, we deal with the inside of the bracket first, which is 5 minus 3, which is 2. And we're going to be left with a power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 2 times 2 is 4. We have 81 and 4, and we have 8 plus 2. Let's put that all together. 81 plus 4 plus 2. That gives us 85 plus 2, 87. Done.